Well, why not, right? Let's review Resident Evil. Back in the day, I used to think this movie was awesome. Resident Evil, starring Mila Jovovich, or something that may or may not be as close to that. Resident Evil was a huge game back in the 90s, a huge video game back in the 90s that I never got to play back then. In my life, I've never got to play a Resident Evil game. It was at a point in my time where I was young and my mother would not buy me a PlayStation. She had the fear that I would not take care of the disc. That was back when having a video game disc was a legit concern of it being damaged. It goes back that far. But in this, a pharmaceutical company named Umbrella is a huge player in the world of pharmaceuticals, but they have been doing other research for a chemical weapon that ends up turning to be this T-virus, which contaminates this entire lab, which causes employees and scientists to become zombies. And the lab gets shut down by the artificial intelligence system and this Umbrella armed unit with Michelle Rodriguez and a whole bunch of other people in this unit, but Michelle Rodriguez is the only one you really care about. And Mila, whatever her face's name, goes down to this basement to try to figure out what is going on to shut down this AI system and heads towards this lab. And the basement of this place really takes up 90% of where this movie is done. From the beginning of this movie where the woman is decapitated from trying to exit the elevator, back then, and rewatching this movie, that from that scene you were in for a very fun time with this movie. There's some things about this movie that I go back and I watch, it bugs me. The limb models don't look good. They look pretty bad in this. The kills are still sweet in this movie, but the limbs and the makeup look very cheap. The CGI is terrible. There's many things in this movie I like, but there's one minor thing. This is a minor moment here for me that I like. The holographic representative for the Red Queen, when they just think they're gonna shut her down and she's only a program that's gonna say just a few words, and then she actually looks at them and tells them that they were all gonna die down there. I remember from the trailer leading up to this movie, that was awesome. Watching it at the movie theaters, it was awesome. And I don't think I've probably seen this movie for maybe 6 or 7 years, and I just rewatched it, and it's still fucking awesome. I love that scene. That scene right there just brought me back to being a kid. And when I think about this, Mila Jovovich as Alice, does she remember? It seems like there is conveniences in this movie, sure. Her being a badass out of nowhere is definitely another. The acting in this is not really good. I mean, Mila does a fine job. Others, what are you gonna do, right? Michelle Rodriguez is Michelle Rodriguez in every movie. I hate when movies like this play awful rock music. I'm a fan of metal and rock, but the shit that they play, I mean, Marilyn Manson is in this. I do enjoy some of Manson's songs, but I hate when they over action sequences awful rock music. And especially in some scenes when they play the music in this movie and it's louder than the actual dialogue and you cannot hear the dialogue, which there is a lot of explaining dialogue in this movie. Rewatching this movie, it is so different than the other Resident Evil movies. I mean, it's the obvious with this one being decent, but at moments I get the small fear for our characters, and others I do not. Many of the special effects are bad looking back at this movie. The acting is not well, but this movie remains still fun and entertaining to me, but the ending still remains badass, where it really gets you pumped for part 2. This movie is a fun time movie. It's based off a video game about zombies. I mean, did you really come here looking for brilliant acting and artsy cinematography in a movie that makes you think, what is the bigger meaning to life? You're not coming here for that movie in Resident Evil. So with that being said, I have to give Resident Evil a 68 out of 100. I could probably go a little bit higher, but there's a lot of issues, a lot of sloppiness with the movie. The writing, the acting, the conveniences of this movie is bad. Paul W.S. Anderson, I can go on, but it's still entertaining. It's still fun. Some cool stuff in this movie. 68 out of 100. Get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about Resident Evil, the very first movie. Whatever it is, guys, if you're new here, check out the playlist for other movie reviews and sports content. Till the next video, I'm done.